Hello and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where we're about to do a modified Monday. All right, what we got going on is I hinted towards it a little bit, or told you flat out, I don't know, that I'm going to try my hand at building a 50cc race saw. Anyway, so yes, we're good. What we have here is a Poland Pro 305. Got this off of eBay. Nice and cheap, actually. Really nice and cheap. And so here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to take this thing and we're going to remove the piston and cylinder, because this is actually 49cc, which is a 50cc class legal saw. The 54cc version of this, it's not legal for race. So that's why we're going to tear this apart. We're going to put this piston and cylinder on my Craftsman 3.3. Now, you know, rightfully so, there's probably a lot of people that would just go, why not just build this thing? You know, I get it. If I was just simply looking to build a race saw out of one of these Polands, that's exactly what I would do. But I'm kind of ate up, and I have what I think is cool. And what I think is cool is that Craftsman. I like calling it Black Magic. I could paint this black, whatever. But I like it. I like the idea that I got it for 15 bucks at an estate sale, and I'm going to turn it into a race saw. Now this right here, it's a magnesium cover with a brake. Brake's a little bent on it, but yeah, that's no big deal. I can straighten that out. What I'll probably end up doing is the bad boy that I keep for myself, like the actual Tim Allen version bad boy. I got 3 of them that I am restoring, all 3 of them. I'll probably use this on it. The Black Magic there, don't need a brake on it. It's a race saw. So what we're going to do with this right here before we actually truly tear it apart is we're going to make sure how much compression it has. I have looked at the piston and cylinder, and they're muy bien. They're quite nice. Whoa, gas is pouring all over the place. That must be have pressure built up like crazy. Hold on, let me get rid of that gas. My gosh, as unbelievable as it seems, I purchased this saw off of eBay from somebody in Canada. In Canada. I have not done anything with this saw aside from look at the piston and cylinder. I did pull it for compression as well, but that's it. I haven't done anything to this saw. The person I bought it off of was like, not sure if it runs or not. But they sent it to me with a full tank of fuel, and I just fired it up. It runs. It runs like it runs. It's idling too high, but it freaking runs. It's a running saw. Oh my God. How did it get to the United States from Canada with a full tank of gas? I mean, it was almost full. It was really close to full. It made it through customs and everything. Makes me want to think seriously about drug running, you know? That's not true. I don't think that. Anyways, there we go. I wanted to pull, I want to just check for compression. That's all I wanted to do before I pulled it apart. But shit, the damn thing ran. I'm sorry. I think that's hilarious that it made it from Canada with a full tank of fuel. And I know it's not my fuel because the fuel that I've been using since I got this, it has Red Armor mix in it. So it's red. This fuel was blue. So it ain't my fuel. I didn't fuel it up. It's genuinely funny to me. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and do a quick compression test. I can't stop laughing about that. I just want to, just want to see. I want to know. I want to have an idea where it's at compression wise. Because I'm fixing to tear this thing apart and do all kinds of stuff to it. I want to see what my changes, what the changes that I make are going to be. So I pull 10 times with the throttle lock on so that we get good airflow. Just shy of 150. And I do mean just shy of 150 on this 49cc cylinder. All right, so we got that taken care of. We're just gonna real quick pop the cylinder off as quick as I can. How y'all doing? Oh, me? I'm good. Life is grand. Okay, so we're about to pop this cylinder off for the first time. Probably since it was put on, I would imagine. This doesn't appear to be a saw that was particularly well cared for. Yeah. There we go. And the reveal, that's kind of odd. I'll grab the camera and show you guys here in just a second. First, I feel the need for speed. No, not quite. I feel the need to pop that piston off first. Getting it now. Put my thumb over is what I do. There we go. Sure, it'd be better if I wore some safety goggles or something. Yes, I know, but y'all do it too. Don't get the safety police after me. I know there's a lot of y'all out there that's like, oh no, don't do that. You're going to ruin your crank bearings and stuff and blah, blah, blah. I have a feeling that a lot of the, and this is probably inappropriate to say, but I'm an inappropriate guy, so there you go. I have a feeling that a lot of the people that present themselves as awesome mechanics, you might be an awesome mechanic, and I'm not doubting that, But what I'm saying is there might be a lack of real world experience, meaning you're young. And look at it like this. I have 2 children. With the first child, I was scared to death. Anything that went wrong. Bump her head, fall down, oh, that kind of thing. When the second child came along, I literally watched that kid fall down the stairs at 2 years old. Probably fell down about 5 or 6 steps. Good. And whenever he got to the bottom, I said, get up. Come on. Crying doesn't make it better. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Whenever you're a young mechanic, I think that because you're so fresh in your schooling, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly great. It's fantastic. So fresh in your schooling that you're like, oh my God, it's an unsterile environment? You know, if you got to go to the Ducati factory in Italy, you'd probably be like, oh shit. Those guys are building world-class motorcycles. And they drink wine on their lunch break, and they smoke cigarettes while they're putting the engine together, and it's not a sterile environment. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, don't be so caught up in some of the BS. And so, hitting it with a hammer gently, according to this guy, is fine. I've never had a problem due to doing stuff like this. You just gotta be smart about it. I mean, you can't just whack it, and you gotta have it somewhat supported on one side. Somewhat. But boy, sometimes they do fit tight. Gosh. I mean, that is a little bit, I'm having to hit it a little bit too hard. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Just a little bit, but. And the hole is so little, none of my long sockets will actually even fit. So I'm having a slightly difficult time finding something to go up in there. That might work good. And catch on that wrist pin so that I can hammer it out. There we go. It's kind of one of those things where you get hurt and your grandpa says, spit on it and rub it. It'll get better. All right, there we have it. That is a nicely broken in piston. I want to say worn, but no, that would give the wrong impression. I like to take this, the wrist pin bearing, and actually put it back into the piston and put that wrist pin back in place. Doesn't always work out so well, but it usually does. Man, that's tight. And whenever you get close there, you gotta be a little bit more careful so you don't actually bang up against the side of the piston. There we go. All right, now I can slide that in and out of the bore as I choose. All right. But let's get you guys a closer look at this. That's weird. I've never seen anything like that before. and maybe it's due to the double ring. I don't think that I've ever worked on something, at least not to this depth, that has the two small thin rings. All right, here's the cylinder I just took off. And what I was having a hard time with, what I said I'd never seen before, was banding like that. And I can feel a very specific banding right there. It's where the piston stops. You can tell that's where the piston stops. It's no longer, that's bottom dead center. There we go. So those tiger stripe pattern thingies give me question. A lot of my viewers know more about this stuff than I do, so I definitely want your opinion. Now, it does appear, I mean, you know, camera is camera. They can't show the detail, or they accentuate detail where it doesn't need to be. But what are your thoughts on this? It is a nice, usable cylinder. There is no doubt about that at all. But it is very different. I mean, I can tell you one thing. I mean, I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. I really do. Now that side, that is your intake side, and that is smooth all the way. I can't even feel anything with my fingernail, and you can clearly see the banding, you know. But on the exhaust side, which is where all your heat is, I can feel that line. Let me get something to point with. I can feel these two lines, both of them. And what that is that's both of these piston rings. Boom, boom. Right there. Bottom, top. And I can feel. I can't feel it with my fingernail. It's smooth as can be. But I can feel it with my fingertip. There's a hump. There's definitely a hump there. But now, I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm definitely still going to use this cylinder. This cylinder is perfectly fine. There's no issue whatsoever. I'll just clean it up with some Scotch-Brite and go to work. There's no aluminum transfer at all. It's fantastic. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. However, yeah, never seen banding like that before. Never seen it. I think probably clearly it's because it has two thin rings. It has two thin rings versus one thick ring. But you can look at this piston. I mean, this is, let me see. So this is your exhaust side. That is fine. You know, this piston, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. The rings are probably fine too. Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. It's a good usable cylinder. Now what I'll do is I'll clean this cylinder up and put it on Black Magic. Now, I'll just sit it on Black Magic because there's a lot that has to be done. But before I do anything with Black Magic, I'm going to take Black Magic's cylinder and piston and cylinder, and I'm going to put it on that one, the Poland Pro 305. I'm going to measure it out, get all of my numbers, port and polish it as best as I can, put it together, and then we'll see what I do with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to keep it, but I'll probably do a giveaway saw with that one right there. And so it'll be a 54cc bare bore ported Poland chainsaw. So hopefully it'll turn out good. Hopefully, you know, if not, if it's crap, I'll just use it as parts. It'll be my parts saw. But hopefully it'll turn out good. I will learn a little bit about porting and polishing, and then I can move on. I'll probably do that 2 times, because I have another Poland 305 with a good piston and cylinder. It's in really nice shape. It's a really nice saw. And I have another 54cc bare aluminum bore cylinder. And I'll put that one on it. So you see what I'm doing. I'm swapping out the crappy aluminum bore cylinders for the chrome bore cylinders, so that I will have multiple cylinders for my race saw to play with. And I'm also getting practice with porting and polishing on the bare aluminum bore. So, you know, I don't care if I screw it up. So, before I touch these, the chrome bores that are, you know, in my opinion, much more valuable, harder to find, before I touch them, I want to practice on some stuff that I think is junk. So, it's not junk. I mean, it's still good. I've enjoyed using that little Craftsman like crazy. So, it's perfectly fine. So, I don't want to screw it up, but it's good to learn on. So, anyways, Modified Mondays. I hope you enjoyed. This one is not very good, I know. But, yeah, this is it. The start of the race saw. Later.